Hello, this is J.N.S, and today we are going to be talking about Black people rebuilding their civilization with the goal of global rulership and leadership. Because to be honest, we must start to look towards the future and prepare for the day for when the pendulum swings back in our favor. You cannot always think that this system, the way it's set up, will always be the way that it is. In fact, it is changing. It's a slow change, but those of us who can see, those of us with ears to hear and eyes to see, we can see that there is a slow walk towards a new paradigm. And we have to prepare for that. We cannot sit idle and wait for all these other groups to build society and run the infrastructure. And when I say infrastructure, I mean running the technology, running the nanotechnology, running the medicine, running the education, running the food, running the electricity, running the water. You can't just sit idle thinking that these other groups are going to run this and that you're going to be scotch-free off from running your own civilization. It's not going to be that way. We are fully capable of running civilization ourselves. And we fail to fully tap into our power as Black Americans in terms of the energy that we possess that can actualize change with very little effort. Then we do a disservice to ourselves when we don't push the mantle outside of the systems that we see currently in place. When you can't fathom a civilization outside of fiat currency, outside of capitalism, outside of their way, and by that I mean you can come up with your own barter economy. You can come up with different forms of currency besides fiat currency. You can come up with your own way. And when you fail to think outside the box and push the envelope, or when you fail to color outside of the lines of how a society should be ran, then you stay disempowered. You stay at the bottom. And we know for a fact that melanin people for the last 2,000 years have been at the bottom and have not been in the position of powers like they used to be, how they used to run things. And we've seen that, and we see it now. But I'm here to say that it's changing, that a new day will be here, and you have an advantage. You must use it. If you have an advantage, you must use it. It's not enough to know about your power. It's not enough to say, oh, we have melanin, we have energy, we have this electromagnetic field that can reach out, 8 feet or whatever. All of our human minds of consciousness can do this, and we know about the law of attraction. It's not enough to know about it. It's time for application and implementation and execution. That is the day that we are in. It is not time to do the symbolic gestures or even the symbolic movements that you are used to doing, the marching on Selma that you've been doing for 60 years with no change. You cannot continue to do those things. You don't have an excuse why you don't or can't use your power. So that leads me to our discussion about the Kardashev scale. And I'm going to apply that to you. We're going to talk about civilization, literally. How can the Black American build a civilization that will get them in global positions of leadership and rulership? So that's what we will talk about. So what is the Kardashev scale? That is a method of measuring a civilization's level of technological advancement based on the amount of energy it is able to use. So the original scale classified 3 types of civilization based on their exponential progression. So you see a type 1 civilization, and this is like the names of it, type 1, type 2, type 3, but I'll explain which each one is. So a type 1 civilization is able to access all of the energy available on its planet and store it for consumption. That's type 1. And now we have type 2 civilization. And that means that they can directly consume the energy of a star. And then lastly, you got the type 3 civilization, which is able to capture all of the energy emitted by its galaxy. So that is what the Kardashev scales are, and they were originally used to find advanced civilizations in outer space. So alien life, So we're going deep. We're going to be going into some outer space shit, but you got to bear with me because it's totally relevant to the Black Americans' ability to build civilization, and I'll explain that in ways that you can understand it. But to make this scale more understandable, let's compare the speed of transmission across the galaxy of a volume of information equivalent to a medium-sized library. So for instance, let's say a type 2 civilization, they can send data by means of a transmission beam emitting for only 100 seconds. So that is a level of energy that they have. And then a similar amount of information can be sent across the intergalactic distances of about 10 million light years with a transmission time of several weeks. Okay, so now we're talking about the different levels of energy consumption and ability to access information. And a type 3 civilization can transmit the same amount of data to the entire observable universe within a transmission time of 3 seconds. So that's just an example of how to make the scale a little more understandable. So when we talk about the type 1 civilizations, it is usually defined as one that can harness all the energy that reaches its home planet from its parent star. So for Earth, this value is around 2 times 1017 watts, which is about 4 orders of magnitude higher than the amount presently attained on Earth. So a type 2 civilization channels the entire radiation output of a star. So that would be comparable to the sun. That type 2 civilizations can consume the energy of the sun in recyclable ways. And then you have the type 3 civilization, which is a civilization in possession of the energy at the scale of its own galaxy. So that would mean a civilization that can harness the energy of the entire Milky Way, once again, which is about 4 times 1037 watts. So at the current time, humanity has not even reached a type 1 civilization. We haven't reached type 1 civilization status. So what would take place, or what would have to happen for us to reach that type 1 civilization, is if humans increase their energy consumption at an average rate of like 3% each year, then they may attain type 1 status in 100 to 200 years. So it would literally take us 100 to 200 years to reach type 1 status. So they say. But I have a way we're going to reach type 1 status right away for the Black American, if you listen and if you hear and if you apply yourself. For a type 2 status, though, for the humanity, it will take a few thousand years, and the type 3 status is about 100,000 to a million years away, quote unquote, if we were to continue at this pace. But I want to tell y'all this: in 2016, there was a signal, and this came from the star HD 164595. This was a star requiring the power of a type 1 or type 2 civilization. It actually produced a signal origin in August of 2016. It was actually it was a signal that was sent out from that star, and the military said that that it was likely a military satellite orbiting the Earth. So how does that even make sense? So if humanity hasn't reached type 1 civilization yet, according to the Kardashev scale, how does this star send a signal of a type 1 civilization? So honestly, I don't believe that. I think that there was a signal from this star that might have been from extraterrestrials, but the cover-ups. You have cover-ups, and you have, powers that be that don't want humanity to know that. And if that's the case, then that means that there would be civilizations that would be more advanced than us. You know, if they sent out that signal or reaching that level of technological advancement, they either just discovered it and they were able to send out the signal, we were able to see it, and then it was just like, okay, that was just the military satellite orbiting the Earth. That's all it is, guys. Just look away. Don't think nothing else of it. Just sit your pretty eyes still. This is what they do. But I want to talk about how this relates to the Black American. So how does the Kardashev scale relate to the Black American? Well, I want to tell you that you can have a type 1 civilization very easily given your inventive mind. And we're going to talk about how you're going to use your inventive mind to build that type, not just type 1, but type 2, type 3 civilization. In this lifetime, yes, you can do it. You can do it in less than 50 years if you were serious. But I'll tell you, and this relates to you because you are fully capable of that energy. You have untapped potential due to melanin and your ability to harness dark energy from the universe as an energy fuel itself. So how will you get to the type 3 civilization? I will tell you. What you would need to do is you would need to invent a large-scale application of fusion power and keep hold of the patents to use it. Tell no one how it works but yourself. through communicating in code or a new language. So then you would have to invent a new language. You would invent the large-scale power. You would invent the large-scale application of fusion power. Then you're going to have to invent a language to obscure the understanding of it and to communicate. You would have to do that all in code, all offline. The fusion power itself can be, use whatever systems you need to invent it, but the language itself would need to be created offline. So that is how you will get back in power, through fusion power. That's just one way. You already invented 50,000 inventions in a span of 100 years. You already developed a way to run engines on water. You already invented a way to get water from the atmosphere. So you would need to get fusion to work, and you would have a type 3 civilization that only you will own. So one of you beautiful minds out there, especially the youth, if you are listening and you have ideas and you are brilliant and ingenious, think hard, think long, and think of ways to push the envelope of humanity's progression and evolution of consciousness through the invention of fusion power. Now, they're already working on this. They already got away, but you have advantages. And I truly believe that if you took a year or two, maybe a little longer, maybe let's say we about 20 to 50 years away from it. I think you could invent that shit in about a year or two. I really do. Maybe I'm the one that's overzealous about the potential of Black Americans. Maybe we can't do that. Maybe you're thinking that. I personally don't. I personally believe that you are able and capable of doing that. That's just my personal opinion. Now, will you do it? Who knows? I think there's potential to do it. I think you have the potential. I think you have the capability to do it. But it doesn't mean that you will do it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to push the envelope. You have to be fearless when you're doing these type of things. You have to absolutely be fearless. But fusion power, that is how you're going to get to a type 1, type 2, type 3 civilization. And that is how you'll be able to get back in power. But what you're going to have to do is not sell those patents and not tell anybody, and they may off you. They may off you and try to get access to that patent. That's where that language comes in. That's why you need a new language to develop and to shroud these things under. And in that way, you have some backup. And then you may want a contingency plan, just in case that happens. But fusion power is one way. The second way you develop a type 3 civilization and beyond is to work with antimatter. You would work with antimatter in large quantities, and that would provide a mechanism to produce power on a scale several magnitudes above the current level of technology. So when antimatter collisions, the entire rest mass of a particle is converted to radiant energy. So you want to get into studying physics and even teaching yourself physics so that you can dominate the idea of radiant energy. It's the other way. So once again, Black Americans, you're going to have to get into these things. You have to run these. You're telling you, the days of you sitting your ass and having this dominant society run everything for you, them days are coming to a slow and it's coming actually sooner than later. It's happening. I see it. Those who can feel the energy, the vibrations, and we feel that shit. We like, yo, this system about to change. It's a change of guard. There is truly a change of guard, not only just within the way this world is ran, based on racial lines, based on stratification, based on exploitation. It's a racial caste system that we have here, but there's a change of guard in that. But there's also going to be a change of guard within Black American society. There's also going to be a change of guard within African society. And though we need those inventive minds, we need to stop promoting low vibrational shit, low vibrational music, and start to really tap into our higher selves, because that is what's going to get us to the next level of the next dimension. Because right now we see this earth shifting from 3 to 4 to 5th dimension, but many of you Black people have access in a possibility of getting on 6 and 7D. Many of you can reach the 7th dimension. Many of you can do 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. You just haven't tapped into your own power. So if the earth is on 5D, you probably have the potential to shift it onto 7D if with the right energy. But right now, all you're surrounded by is distraction. The music, the drill music, the food, the processed foods, the corrupt education systems, the racism. Every day you are distracted from reaching your full potential. It's just a mind fuck. You're in a psyops. You're in a global psyops program and mind control program, believe it or not. And that's unfortunate, but if you can hear me, I mean, you understand what I'm saying, then you know what I'm saying is correct. It's undetectable. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. For certain people that come aware of it, they get their ass out the paint, or they are watched, they're surveillanced, they have odd things happen to them. For those who come online and crack the matrix and get out of the matrix, and they start talking a certain way, they start knowing certain things, or they on seventh dimension, you have to be very quiet. If you're one of those Black Americans, don't go around telling people. Don't go around telling people that you on 7D, and that you can just kind of keep it to yourself for now, and lay low. Don't talk on the phone so much, and keep things to keep that vibration up, because you can go from 7D to 6D to 5D, go up and down at will, most likely. So, every day you're surrounded by these distractions, and it's a fight for consciousness. It's a fight for the mind, body, and soul. And if you know that, and you can see through that, then you will be fine. But what I'm telling you, Black Americans, is if you have melanin, you have potential to reach fire. You really do. And you have the potential to get on that level. And now I want to talk about the third way the Black American would get in position of global rulership. And obviously that's through renewable energy. That's through converting sunlight into electricity. Now that one's going to be easy one for you to dominate. And you either do that by using solar cells, and then you can also concentrate solar power, or indirectly through biofuel, wind, and hydroelectric power. Now I know you're going to have that down pat. That one is probably the easiest for you. So this is what is your challenge. This is what KYRIE J.N.S. is challenging the Black American with. And I know it's like, well, who are you? Well, I'm a seer. I'm an oracle. And I'm KYRIE J.N.S. I'm just chill. I'm just a transient being on this planet for a short time, trying to spread a message of love and spread a message of higher dimensional consciousness. That's all I'm here to do. But what I tell the Black American is, if you don't see your potential, then I want to tell you that it's there. I absolutely want to tell you that you are brilliant, that you are wise, that you have so much potential, that you are full with love. And I want to push you. I really do. Like, I know our people been through a lot. We've been through a hell of a lot. But I want you to know that you still got that same ancestral spirit that invents, the same ancestral spirit that worships, the same ancestral spirit that is connected to this planet Earth. So that's what's going to push you. You got to keep your head up at all times. Never let anyone bow your head. Never let anyone make you bow your head. Okay? Don't ever bend the knee to nobody. Okay? And that's really a message for Kyrie Irving at this time. I really want to say that to him at this time. Because what they dragging him through the ringer for being a child of God. And I don't appreciate them ringing that black man through the ringer like that for no other reason, for sharing an opinion. And that man got a lot of love in his heart. You can see a spirit on him. You could tell when people got anointing. So I don't appreciate society ringing that man over something that was sharing a link on Twitter. Really? This is what we're doing? This is what we're doing? So they're going to come hard after you. They're going to come hard after you because you're awakening, because you're becoming enlightened, because you are doing the steps to really get back in control by knowing who you are. Know thyself is the rule of the game. Once you know thyself, can't nobody put no okie doke on your ass. So this is why they're going after the Kyrie Irvings. And quiet as it kept, they doing Kanye West. Look how they doing Kanye West. All he talked about was exploitation of the culture through the contracts and the unfair business dealings, and he talked about that, wanted to have the conversation. I think that's a fair conversation. Is the contracts unfair? Are Black Americans getting a raw end of the deal in the sports agents, in sports industry, and the entertainment industry? I'm sure they are. Well, so let's have the conversation, because justice and righteousness is our foundation. So Remember when it say that in the book of Psalms? Justice and righteousness is our foundation. So that's real shit. So I'm like, don't ever choose the world over your soul. You understand me, Black Americans? Don't ever think that you got to choose this man-made monopoly fiat currency game over your goddamn soul and over being a man of integrity and character and standing up for what's right, standing up for justice. If you know how to live off this earth, you're good. That's why I always encourage Black Americans to know the basics of getting your own. I wrote this in my first book, The Queen Mothership. Getting your own food, shelter, and water. Once you get that down, can't nobody stop you. I mean, what can anybody do if you know how to get water from this fucking transformation method from one of these leaves and these trees out here? There's ways to get water without having a faucet, you know what I mean, or having the tap water. There's ways to get shelter. You know, there's ways to build A-frame shelters off of nature right here. You get you a nice little plot of land. You can live off of a nice little plot of land. You got foraging, wild forest. Foraging is a real thing, you know. You can always do co-housing community, all types of shit we can do together. We don't need this system. And too many of you buy into this goddamn system and you can't think of a way. And I want to say this to Black men. There's going to be a message in here for you, Black man, because you've been telling me when it comes to what happened with Kyrie Irving that he should have just shut his mouth. They need to be quiet. They messing it up for all those men got up there and talked against Kyrie Irving on international TV. Talking about how he needs to just apologize to the master. He needs to bow his head down. He needs to bend the knee. This is what they're telling another brother to do because they cannot fathom a system outside of capitalism and fiat currency monopoly money game. This is what this all is. It's an illusion. It's all Maya. This is not real. Like, I can't believe that people buy into these things. The Federal Reserve can collapse the dollar overnight. We all know this. The dollar can collapse overnight. What you gonna do? Did you back your resource up with gold and silver? Most of you have not. Did you buy some oil company? Did you buy an oil company? Did you? So your money can become worthless at any time. Do you not know that pepper was once a currency before? Salt was money before. So you know how you love spending a little dollar to get you some Jordans, to get you some Nike. Salt was equivalent to the dollar. Imagine salt being $100 bill. You'll see salt in your damn cabinet. And then you got what else? The pepper, saffron. Remember saffron? Saffron was money at one point, and I want to say it was a type of flower. It wasn't a marigold, but it was a type of flower that was also money. Yams in Africa. That was a big one. That used to be currency. The idea of goats, your livestock could be counted as currency. So you have to start to think of bartering systems, trade systems, coming up with things that you can be self-sufficient on your own, but can be more fair. Start to think of ways where, okay, what about a barter economy, a barter app? When one of you Black men invents a barter app, put it on there. You start doing barter services. Start to have a point system where you can gain points based off of certain works where you can cash them in and get a service back in return or get something in return. Think of that. I'm serious. Like, think of a point system. So for instance, imagine if I offer childcare for kids in the community and, I get certain points for that. I may not be getting money for that, but I'll get points. And in return, I can go and cash those points in, say, for instance, to go to so-and-so who's a carpenter who makes chairs. He gets points. He can go in turn, go to get a haircut with those points. So you're doing a point system, barter system. This is what you need to start thinking of, Black men. Now, you say, why is a woman telling us what to do? I'm a queen mother. I'm a god. And I know the things that this community needs. Now, it may feel like I'm egoic. I am not in my ego. There's no way I can possess the amount of information that I know and get it out to a way that in such love, if you can hear the love in my heart, I ain't telling you to go kill each other. Like them songs y'all be listening to, them rap songs that go tell you how I lit his ass up. I got a lick and all that stuff and I'm gonna knock his head off. And I don't tell you to do all that like them rap songs tell you to do. I'm telling you to go and build. I'm giving you encouragement. I've sat here throughout the whole video and told you I believe in your potential. I think that you have the potential. I think the Black American has the potential. That goes for the women and the men. The women, our Black women, you already know. You already know. You are here. You're a powerhouse. So I expect a lot out of both of you, the men and the women. But for the men, I want you to start to think of systems outside of what you see. Don't say, we need this money because how we gonna get the medical supplies? How we gonna get resources? How we gonna get a house if we don't have no money? Y'all gotta get out of that. We in a whole nother dimension. You talking to somebody, I'm like, what? I'm like, think of barter. Think of the apps that you can invent. Push the envelope. Think of fusion power. Think of antimatter. Think of solar renewable energy. Black man, you better listen to me. These are the things you want in your mind. Like, okay, you know what? I'm about to go pick me up a physics books. What the hell is she talking about? I want one of you 15-year-old boys, 16-year-old geniuses, go pick up one of them books and say, you know what? I think I got an invention right here. I know in my heart, I'm thinking of something that got to do with renewable energy. That got to do with energy that we can harness from the fucking Milky Way. How cool is that? You know what? I know I can harness energy from the Milky Way. That's what we're going to do. And one of you are going to figure it out. Absolutely. I know you are. Now, Africa, this is a message I have for you. You play an important role in the shift of consciousness on this planet too. You want to have a friendly competition with the Black American who movement fusion power first. That'd be a nice little competition. Now, I'm betting on my people. But wouldn't it be cool if one of you guys start to get into it too? But you got to start remembering the history, then going from there, because you got a lot of karma on you from the stuff that has been happening for the last 2,000 years. But I will say that you also play an important role in this next shift, just like the Black American plays a crucial role to this next shift paradigm that we're going into. This is why they're going to be attacking the Black American leaders. They're going to be real leaders, not like controlled opposition or, like CIA agents that are paid actors to act like they're like revolutionaries. Like, no, not like those people, but like real leaders who stick up for righteousness and justice at all cost. Those motherfuckers are going to get attacked, unfortunately. So we have to protect the leaders. We want to protect the women who stand up, the men who stand up. Please protect those people at all costs. Don't turn your back on them. Don't believe in the psyops. Don't believe in the propaganda that they put on those people. Don't believe it. Okay? So Black American, you are charged with figuring out a way to use the equivalent of the Earth's total observed solar energy. But watch this. Without completely coating the surface with the human-made structures. Okay? So you want to construct space based on solar power satellites by converting sunlight to microwave power and beam that to collectors on Earth. And I know those who are in physics, you understood what I just said. Those who really been thinking of this shit, you understood what I just said. So that is how you're going to build your Type 3 civilization. You can also try star lifting, which is a process when an advanced civilization could remove a substantial portion of a star's matter in a controlled manner for other uses. These are things that I know that you are fully damn well capable of. You want to get ahead of these things while maintaining the integrity of this earth. And you can do that, and you are born to do it. Okay? So those three things that I mentioned, I just need one of you who are gifted, genius, inventive, to start studying that fusion power. Okay? And that way you can change the world. And I'm expecting large scales. I'm expecting this to be invented by you. I'm expecting this. Sure am. Because you already invented over 50,000 patents. This is the gift that's been given to you. You have the gift of invention. You invented the damn toilet. Invented the Fresh McKinley refrigerator. Air conditioner. Blood bank. Alarm system. That was Mary Van Brown. Yep. You already did that. Sheila Washington from MIT. She helps invent fiber optic cables, touchscreen, call forwarding. Okay. We got Lewis Lattimore, light bulb. This is the filament, which is the light bulb. That's all you need. So, we have these amazing minds around here, and that is the collective alchemy reservoir. Remember we talked about the alchemy reservoir? Go check that video out, alchemy reservoir. Go remember that and go and click on that and read about that, because that talks about how certain transmission of knowledge is collective in a sense. It's a collective unconscious that gets passed on from generation to generation, and those ideas of invention, is that spirit is on the Black American still to this day. But remember, there's always distraction. There's always something to kind of, the food, the music, the propaganda, the treatment, the dilapidated unequal systems, the stratification. All of that is designed to keep your motherfucking mind in a daze, so that you're not tapping into 7th dimensional consciousness, 10th dimensional consciousness. But you have the power to do that through melanin. All you need to do is meditate. All you need to do is get on everybody, all 40 million. Imagine if all 40 million Black Americans said through their energy, reparations now, or whatever it is, energy. Got to build up the energy power. You don't have to do as much physical work as you think you have to. You certainly don't have to march. You don't have to do as much physical energy. It's mental. Everything is mental now. All is mental. So if you can start to think, you got 40 million Black Americans put a mind on restitution and justice, and thinking of it hard, and they're like, they're meditating, and they're like feeling the vibration, because emotion is powerful. Emotion is what you need to start to shift consciousness in terms of the law of attraction. You start to get the emotion as if it's already there. You already feel it. We all feel it. And you say, I want a system of justice. The system has to go. Restitution, land back. I want my land back. Money. And then you start thinking of yourself walking on that land, and you see all of us, all 40 million have to do it though. Oh, I bet you in one motherfucking week you'll have this shit. 1 week without lifting a finger. That's how powerful you are. Now you may say, oh, that's just extreme. That's you're talking crazy. Oh my gosh. You keep on going. It's been 100 years. You might as well do something new. It's been 400 years, but for the past 100 years, all you think to do is go march your ass down on Washington somewhere. Anybody that's doing, I mean, if you did that already for 60 years, what makes you think, what does that actually do? So you're going to have to start to build your own self-sustaining communities. You have to be very serious about it. And invention is what's going to push you. That invention, the embracing of the intellects, the embracing of your own intellect, and putting energy towards your mind. And not everybody's going to be, that's not everybody's calling, but at the same time, the Black American is primed for new development. The Black American is primed for a new dimension of consciousness. This is what you are going towards in a spiritual sense. I'm talking spiritual. Nothing that I'm telling you is more so the physical realm. I'm talking about the spiritual realm, because right now they're clashing. Right now, the earth is like, I can't hold these low ass vibrations anymore. I can't hold the vibration of injustice. I can't hold the vibration of exploitation, of sacrifice, blood sacrifice, and all this bullshit that's been going on this planet Earth. It can't hold the vibration of that anymore. So we going on to a new paradigm shift, and you got 40 million niggas around here that don't know who they are, the lost tribe, and they running around here thinking that they some slaves or some shit, in they subconscious mind. They don't have to consciously think it, but the subconscious of the pain and everything that we went through. It's time to elevate that. It's time to elevate our ancestors and elevate on every level imagine, but mainly spiritual, to be honest. And everything will come with that, the prosperity, the idea of abundance. It may not be the US dollar fiat currency abundance, but you will have abundance. If you got land with some damn chicken, some cow, and pig, is that not abundance? If you know how to build A-frame shelter, you're a carpenter. You got a piece of land, and you know how to. And you got a machete, jungle machete, and you got you some tools to build stuff: chairs, couch, table, desk, walls. You know how to scrape. You know how them carpenters be, and you know how to woodwork that. You know how to work that wood. Is that not abundance? It's abundance. But no, you want the fast money. You want what you see on TV, but they promote. Lamborghini, you want Mercedes. If you want the cars, if you want the clothes, and you want the money, and you sell your soul for a fiat currency that is not backed by earth or outer space resources, over the idea of being resourceful. I always tell black men, be resourceful. It's better than having resources. If you can be resourceful, you can do anything if you can always focus on skill attainment, particularly the skills that run civilization. The basics of civilization: food, water, shelter. Then you get into the electricity, and then the computers, and then the technology, then the science. You have to start somewhere. If you can procure those skills, then you have your autonomy. Then you are resourceful. You have self-autonomy. You don't need this system for nothing. It can't hold you down. But if you have to bow down and sign on the dotted line for their system, their money, then you won't be free. You won't be free. And you're looking at me, looking at your woman, she see you're not free. Some black women are just out here dumb out of their mind. But the ones who are not, they can see the trick bag for what it is, and they're looking like, my man got to go to another man's system for food, shelter, clothing. Got to go to the white man. That's not autonomy. Some women don't mind that. Some women get turned off by that, and they go after those sad men who actually is running it. So what you have to do as black men is, again, resourcefulness. And that's how you free yourself, because you want to have that feeling of freedom too, autonomy. Don't think that you only have freedom and feel that autonomy is if you have a bunch of money in the bank. Think of resourcefulness. If you're resourceful, you could build your own shelters. You know how to get water. You know how to do that carpentry. You got some computer skills. Think of skills, and then think of how you can do that on a small scale and large scale, because you can have what I'm talking about transcends a dollar amount that you need to have. So you could be very wealthy. You could be a very wealthy man and be resourceful. You could be one that doesn't have much and be resourceful. Okay, so it transcends a dollar amount. It really do, But again, once you have fusion power, you can use that as leverage for land, to get land back, quote unquote, the restitution that you need, or the reparations. You can use that as for leverage for land. And if you have fusion power, you probably won't even be checking for that, because you would have so much power to rule the entire world, plus the economy. You would be in control of it. Now, when you have that fusion power, don't get tricked into giving up your patents. You will have to invent it as a group and not just one person, because they will probably start, again, like I said, they will probably start killing people off to try to pay people up to give the science. Try to start paying people up, bribing people. Our niggas, these niggas, they'll take a bribe in a heartbeat. So, be careful with that. But you absolutely have the power to harness the energy of the galaxy. I also want to give you another clue to this nuclear fusion. You want to think of melanin. So fusion, that is the process that powers the sun and the stars. It is a reaction in which two atoms of hydrogen combine together or fuse to form an atom of helium. So in the process, some of the mass of the hydrogen is then converted into energy. So knowing what I just said, and then you go and pick up a couple things about fusion power yourself, I want you guys to study this in teams of Black American physicists, inventors, you name it. If you can be the first to produce nuclear fusion and own it and control 100%, then you'll be back in power. If you get the patent away and take the fiat currency in exchange for the patent, then you will be at the bottom with nothing. You understand me? And don't say I didn't warn your motherfucking ass. This is the big warning, big caveat. So I want to also give you a last tip towards getting towards a type 9 civilization. Now I know we skipped from type 3. It's like, how did you skip from type 3 to the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? But we're going to type 9, which can control the entire hyperverse. And that means you have broken through all layers of simulations. This is a simulation that we're living in. Like, imagine it's a holographic video game that you're playing right now. That's what your consciousness is playing. You have a meat suit on your body. So you want to control the omniverse of creativity. So get the inventing so that we can get to this type 3 civilization. Okay, I know you can do it. I personally know you're capable of doing it. But I also understand that the self-esteem has to be raised collectively. Because when I'm saying it, y'all probably like, this chick done went off and just, I went online and went and broke my matrix. I really did. I became enlightened. And I broke my matrix, but it came with a price too, because they came after me, man. And I almost lost my fucking mind, to be honest. But I'm here. I'm strong. My mind is strong. And I have a lot of love in my heart. And I don't mean any harm to anybody. And I know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Anything, no matter what. Okay? So I love y'all, and I'm going to talk to y'all later. And remember, black men, pay attention to that part when I was telling y'all to think outside of this system. Think outside of a way. Think of barter economy. Start inventing those apps. Start getting it together, okay? And I love y'all. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Bye.